peeps! So today I'm going to be talking to you a little bit about how we can get into the receptive mode, what is the receptive mode, and what is it going to do for us. So just to start, what is a receptive mode? What is this? What does it do? So getting into the receptive mode is where we are, you could say, in a state of openness to the possibilities that surround us. So when we're in the receptive mode, we're going to be open to anything that aligns with what we're kind of moving towards, or we're going to be open to seeing opportunities for people and places and doing things. You are then able to start to experience the really big things that you've been asking for in life. Because think about it, there's a lot of psychology to it. So if you are closed off and you are stressed out thinking about the thing that happened yesterday, you are not going to be focused on the opportunities that surround you. You could be walking down the street and have $100 bill on the ground beneath you, but if you're so stressed out that you're just like walking, like you are not in the present moment, so therefore you are not receptive. You are not receptive to the opportunities that could have been provided for you. So that's why being in the receptive mode is an ideal place to be. So why is it important? You know, what makes it so beneficial? And you know, how do we do it? Well, what we can do is when we're trying to get into the receptive mode, I'm going to give you 4 tips on how you can do this. So the first tip is going to be to journal. So journal out everything that you're feeling. Journal out what thoughts are on your mind. Journal out what to-dos you have. Make sure you have it all written down and organized. Because if it's sitting in our head, then we're going to be kind of trying to keep it there so that we don't forget, which in itself is stressful. So if you can get a notebook to write it down, I use Google Calendar. I also use Tasks. I have like a paper calendar too that I like to use if I don't want to be glued to a screen. So that's also something that you can do as well. But it's going to be, number 1 is journaling. Number 2, getting yourself in a space of presence. So getting yourself into the space where you are where you are. So you're listening to the sounds that surround you. You are smelling the smells that surround you. You are feeling your breath, and you're aware of your breath. You're aware of the way your feet are moving if you're walking. And you're aware of your surroundings, the people that surround you, the things that surround you. You're not thinking about it. You're not analyzing it. You're just simply observing it in that moment. And you're not thinking about the past or the future. So that's the second one. The third one is going to be thinking happy thoughts. And that kind of goes along with presence. Because if we are thinking stressful thoughts, then our emotions are going to react to the thoughts that we're thinking, and therefore we are going to be kind of everywhere or nowhere. So we want to focus our thoughts into things that are positive. If we find that we're starting to worry or drift off into fear land, what we can do is pull ourselves back gently and say, no, it's okay, everything's fine, you know. That is a fear. So once we start naming it as a fear instead of, oh my God, this scary potential, this is a fear. And fears don't mean that it's reality. Just because it's a fear doesn't mean it's reality. And that's what I do for myself, because I have plenty of fears that come up on a regular basis. And that's how it is for all of us, I would say. You know, we're going to have fears that come up. Unless you just maybe didn't experience that. Once you differentiate that it's a fear, you can then pull yourself back and then reframe it and say, okay, you know, what positive things are happening? So positive thoughts, and then that brings me to my last point, is that when we're thinking about positive thoughts, what kind of thoughts can we think about? And it's I want to bring in gratitude. So, you know, there are tons of studies on gratitude and the benefits that it provides, and the benefits that you can see over long periods of time of somebody being and creating gratitude within their life. Because think about it, if you're not seeing all that you have, it's going to be very easy to just focus on what you don't have, because we as humans are really good at doing that, and that's normal. So if we can focus on all the beauty that we do have, and sometimes we need like another perspective, like watching, I don't know, a documentary or something, it creates like this whole sense of gratitude where you're like, shit, like look at all of this beautiful stuff that I do have. And then from there, it's a lot easier to be in a feel-good state. And that takes practice, man. I have been practicing for a long time, and it's just so easy to get caught up in the I'm not good enough, this isn't good enough, you know, mentality, especially for ambitious people. Like, I need to be better. And so moving back from that, not that you're not ambitious, but instead you're pulling back and you're like, what have I achieved? What do I have? What amazing positive things are there in my life? And what have I achieved? And then I pat myself on the back for that. And I'm like, good job, Brianna. Like, look at this. Look what you achieved, right? So let's recap. Number 1 is going to be journaling to get that shit out of your head. Number 2 is going to be presence, being in the present moment. Because if you're in the present moment, you can't worry. You're not thinking. You're just there, which, you know, sometimes can be easier said than done, but it's also possible practice. The third is going to be taking any like negative thoughts that pop up, reframe them, turn them into positives. What would the optimistic person say? So if you don't find that you're optimistic, what would the optimistic person say? And, you know, we can also try to find proof of that optimistic belief, because it's simply a belief. We're able to shift our beliefs, and when we find proof of a better belief, then, you know, we can take advantage of that. So belief system, BS, belief system. So that, and then, you know, once we reframe our thoughts, something else that you can do is take advantage of gratitude, because when we're in a state of thankfulness, it's really hard and very difficult to be in a state of not thankfulness and in a state of unappreciation and fear. So those are going to be my 4 tips for you today. I hope you found them beneficial, and I hope you have an incredible day.